What's going on, peeps? Sean here. It's been a few. I figured I'd come on here and do a little sit rep. Haven't done a video for about a week or so. It's kind of because I've been trying to reflect on where I want to go with this channel. I like giving information. The kind of videos that I watch are sit rep type videos. They're informative. I consume podcasts quite a bit in video and audio form, and this is the type of thing that I'm interested in, so this is the content I put out. What's going on with the live music kind of business right now? What I'm seeing, I haven't been very optimistic about it for a while. You know, the main thing is prices and cost of living has gone up so much, and the gig pay has not gone up, and it's not going up. And what gets me is somebody at my level of skill and talent, which is considerable. You know, I know where I'm at. I see everybody else around. And some newbie just coming in, or somebody who can barely sing, most of the time, A, they don't realize that they suck. And B, it doesn't matter. They get the same $250 I get, or whatever. And that's always rubbed me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way now. Shit, it's rubbed me the wrong way back in the day when we all got 100, 150. It's almost like this entire industry is socialized. And I have a problem with that. And I have a problem with the fact that, you know, wages, I mean, I've done multiple videos about wages on this channel and how they have not kept up with inflation, even remotely. I illustrated it in video. I showed costs and income throughout the ages, and it's not going up. Like, for instance, if I got to drive an hour to a gig, and I got to drive an hour back, that's 2 hours. The gig's 3 hours, that's 5 hours. You know, you're driving, you're working. I still consider that my time, and my time is worth money. That's why I try to find work that's as close to where I'm staying as possible, because that minimizes your travel time, and therefore, in the aggregate, you make more money, okay? So as you get older and you've been doing this for years, you just realize that there's a cap, you know? And, you know, 250, 300 bucks a gig, whatever, you know, right now in the summer in Florida, and I've made that clear on this channel, occupancy goes down, tips go down quite a bit, and it's to be expected. I made several $100 tips. My typical tips were over $100 per gig all season until the beginning of this month, roughly. Last weekend, I made about 112 bucks for 3 gigs tips. So, you know, they go down quite a bit. They go down by 50, 60% on average or more. So you take that into account. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I want to leave Florida in the summertime. It's just, it's between the threat of hurricanes, the searing heat, and the tips. You know, cost of living doesn't really go down, but income goes down. So, you know, I'm delivering more Uber Eats to make up for it. That income has gone way down, and I understand, because, man, that is a luxury ticket service as far as I'm concerned. I would never pay what these people have to pay. But then also to assume somebody's going to deliver your food, you know, a half hour out of their life or 45 minutes out of their life for less than $10 is also insane. I've made videos about that, or I've talked about that in Facebook groups and stuff. But as far as the music thing goes, I'm going to piss some people off from saying this, but most of you are not good enough to be out there gigging. If you couldn't get on stage with me and add to what I'm doing, or keep up what I'm doing, harmonize with what I'm doing, add parts in between my guitar playing, you know, which somebody professional at my level will dial it back so that there's space for you. You know, I put the amount of rhythm in commensurate in direct relation to the other instrumentation that's there. Playing solo, there's no other instrumentation but me, so I fill the space when needed. When not needed, I don't fill the space. But most people that I see out there, as far as I'm concerned, are not worthy to be on stage. They can barely sing. They certainly barely can play. And these motherfuckers are making the same money as me. And there's always been clueless. The majority have always been clueless, have no ears, and they hire these same people. As far as the business people go, that hire and fire. I mean, I've never been passed over, ever. If my video's been shown or I've played, and then some shitbag comes in, I've never been passed over for a shitbag. It's never happened. But there's still a finite amount of gigs, and there's still those same people who, in my opinion, don't have the skills yet. And most don't even have the talent nugget that will develop into the skill level to be playing. When I was coming up, everybody was good. I went on the road at 17 to 18 years old, and I realized very quickly that I wasn't developed enough yet. And after I sang my voice completely out, and I had no voice for 6 months, then I started vocal lessons to learn how to sing correctly and use my voice and use my diaphragm and all my muscles and not sing my voice out. And I worked my ass off, and I played my ass off, and I had the talent always. But you have to work hard at it. And I didn't do anything else but music for all those years. That was my hobby. That was my life. Songwriting, music, playing, practicing. That's all I did. So for you to come into this industry after you fucking retired in New York as a school teacher, when you weren't putting 50, 60 hours a week minimum for decades into your skill and into your craft, and then you jump on stage somewhere, you're playing the same pub as me, making the same fucking money as me. I mean, I have a big problem with that, and I've always had a big problem with that. And I don't mean to come off sounding like I'm bitter, because I'm not bitter. It is what it is. I've known this for 30-something years. But you get to a point where, you know, you're just like, why am I bothering to do this? And that's why I dialed it back. That's why I've dialed it back. I could be out there busting butt, working at these same pubs, you know, but you're burning up all when you run the numbers, you're burning up all this time and effort to get these same $175, $200 gigs, whatever they are, even $250, and then you're running up back and forth and gas and stuff. When you do the math on it, you're not making that much more money. I'd rather stick with a few high-paying gigs, you know, that make me, definitely in season, those 3 gigs make me over $1,000 a week. Right now, I mean, I made like a little less than 900 last week, so I'm not making as much, but I'm putting no effort in. I work with one agent, which isn't good, because if he dies and he's old, or, you know, things get switched around. But, you know, another thing is that another piece of this whole puzzle is, and something else I've known for all these years, is there's no respect for talent and for the entertainment. During the whole COVID's pandemic, yeah, it was a fucking pandemic, shutdown, Florida didn't shut down. You were free to open your restaurant, your bar, everything. Everything was open at the resorts that I play at. The only thing they canceled, all entertainment. We were cut. Lawn maintenance was still going on. Got to cut the lawns. Valet was still there. You got to park cars. Everybody was still working. Some staff was minimized for a while. But the last thing that ever came back was the entertainment budget. It's also, in the summer, the first thing that's cut. And they cut it even more dramatically this year. They cut weekends completely out at one of the resorts. That always was there, even during summer. They cut some other days out at other places. And traditionally, they cut one of the shifts out on Saturdays at the place I play on Saturday, and that's my shift. I always did the later shift, which they didn't cut out. But I took the earlier one this year, so I'm cut out of that double on Saturday, which I have no problem with, because I just don't feel like singing my voice out anymore. I'm going to just move to Sunday, because the top 2 guys, this other guy, a younger kid, and me, we get more of the shifts there. because it is a meritocracy. And again, that's why I continue to work with this particular agent. So, but traditionally speaking, they still cut out a bunch of entertainment. And that's another reason to leave Florida in the summer. There's many reasons to leave Florida in the summer. And there's many reasons why I have to stay until Labor Day this year. But we are leaving May 1st next year, and we're going to Alaska. And it's a probability, definitely for the rest of 2025. From May, we'll be gone half the year, so that's why we shortened our trip this year. But I digress. You know, I have a problem recommending this as a career to anybody, because let me make it clear, I'm not saying that any Tom, Dick, or Harry, to use a 50s or 40s term, should come in here because you've been strumming a guitar your entire life, and you know, but you've been a police officer or whatever, and now you're 65 years old, you're gonna retire and move to Florida and get out there in the bars and play guitar or whatever. I mean, if that's what I see. And again, younger people aren't really doing this. It's not their music. It's not their scene. It's not their vibe. They grew up on computers. They make beats, you know, and they do things completely different than us. They don't consume live music like we do. And, you know, this whole paradigm that we're under is going out when we go out. Hi, baby. Look. Hi, Reese. It's my Reese. He's not feeling good. I'm staying home with him today during the day while my wife's on her day off at the beach. But anyway, so those are the issues that I have with this. You know, and I started a handyman business. I built this entire bus. I can fix and or build anything. My buddy and I that build this bus with, he you know, he's handyman and or builder and or tradesman to my musician. So he's been my mentor. But that also runs in my family. But I mean, we put these solar panels up. We just reseated this AC yesterday, wired this entire bus, did all the plumbing. I've done everything on it. Installed water heaters. There's nothing I can't do as far as handyman work. So I just decided to start a handyman business. You're talking about $100 an hour. You're talking about $150 just to show up, you know, for the first hour. If you can get the fan hung for that, cool. You're talking about like an $800 day rate. You know, I understand that, again, older people, retired people, you're not going to be going up on ladders and doing things. I mean, I'm getting old for that kind of stuff as well. I was up on that roof all day yesterday, reseating that AC, resealing it, putting it back in. Every couple of years, you got to do new foam. And the guy who originally built this bus did a fuck all job, and I gutted everything except those two ACs. So now, in the last few months, I've had to completely pull them out, re-prep the roof, foam the inside, stabilize the steel so it doesn't buckle in and have the condensation drip in onto my cedar ceiling. Just a litany of things, but I had to fix that. I just decided to go into business for myself. So next season, probably starting this summer, but next season for sure, I should be doing handyman work on my days off that I'm not gigging. If it turns out that it's crazily, wildly successful, as I think it will be, I might just stay at the resort for those 2 days and just minimize it down to that, Friday and Saturday, and go out 4 days a week as a handyman. I mean, everybody that I know that's doing this is killing it. And it's a shame. It's a shame. There's no respect for performers. There's no respect for the arts in general. There's no respect. I went to film school in Los Angeles. LA City College. They call it the poor man's USC. Plenty of people. Mimi Letter, plenty of big film directors and lots of producers and lots of famous people. The chick who did the Hurt Locker, Mimi Letter. And, you know, all sorts of people graduated that film program, and a lot of people go on from there to USC and UCLA film. And I went there. I did all my intro film classes and to learn. And we ultimately decided to move to Nashville because film is something I like, kind of, and I know how to shoot. I know how to edit, all that kind of stuff, which I obviously don't do on this channel. But my passion has always been music. So we moved to Nashville instead, and I wrote songs there, and we were there for like 4.5 years. But yeah, there's definitely a lack of respect for all creatives, because the non-creatives run the world, and they think that it's just some pipe dream, BS, pie in the sky, stupid thinking. You know, if you're a completely left-brained individual, you don't understand any kind of right-brain activity. You just think it's bonkers. Like the world would be anything it is today without the creative types. The fact is, beauty and art and music and creativity are what make the rest of your doldrums, the rest of your waking days worth living. They are what makes life bearable for a lot of people, you know. They make people happy, and certain business-oriented outlook type people don't understand that. And they're the people who tend to rise to positions where a creative's income is dependent on these people. You know, I mean, there was patronage back in the old days. Mozart had to have patrons, and all these great composers and stuff. This artist had to have patrons. You know, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. It's just ridiculous. You know, after 40-something years of being an artist or a creative, I mean, you know, it'll grate on you after a while. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if I've offended anybody by giving you my ultimate true feelings on the subject. But, you know, most of these people out here, these new people gigging or people trying to do this, most of them are not anywhere near ready, skilled, developed to be out there in front of people. It is vastly easier, by orders of magnitude, to get up there with a bunch of fucking karaoke version tracks behind you where you barely have to strum, background vocals that enhance things. You know, I've seen plenty of people pretending to play. It's vastly easier to do that than to get up there with actual skill. No reverb, no delay, no extra instruments, and be able to kick ass and pull it off. I'm not saying everybody needs to be that. You know, the younger kid that plays at the resorts with me, that's the other top guy, he can't do that. He doesn't do that. He's a solid player and a solid singer. But even that level of average, which, you know, you would really have to apprentice with better players in a band and come up. When I was coming up, it stands out so much from what I see out there today performing. I mean, the bar has just dropped dramatically, and it's disconcerting and disheartening to me. One of the reasons why I make these videos is because someone like I was when I was younger hopefully will see this and learn and take the ball and run. And I just want to see this thing go on as those of us who are older are getting older and we get out of it and it sunsets. So anyway, sorry if I offended anybody. I really am sorry. If I offended you because I'm talking about you, then that's on you for not being good enough yet. And if you're offended, you know it's true. So shut off YouTube. Spend the next 6 months woodshedding for 40 hours a week in your room. If your vocals aren't strong, which most of you do not have strong vocals. If your vocals aren't strong, take vocal lessons. Learn how to sing. Dynamics. Taste. You know, don't try doing a bunch of licks you don't know how to do. Vibrato. Tone. Learn how to sing from your head voice, your throat voice, and your chest voice, and learn what styles call for more chest voice. It comes from your chest, a lot of country. A lot of newer country, like these, you know, these new kids out. Ow, ow, comes from your you know, there. But also, try to develop your own style. Just become competent first. Learn how to sing on key. You know, don't rely on pitch shifters and or auto-tune pedals and things like that. You know, I've never used that crap. Oh, do I hit honkers? Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. You know, my warm-up is usually just trying to talk a little bit in the morning, doing some humming and different parts of my voice resonation. If that. Sometimes I'm just so pressed for time, I get to the gig and I have basically songs that warm up my voice completely, and I those are my first set songs. So, you know, but I've been doing this for, you know, 40 years. So anyway, I don't know. Hope you got something out of these videos, and I'll talk to you soon.